Baby, I'm the gamble of your life. Why you always gotta think twice? We could go at it all night. Till the morning till you can't even go no more.
Hello everyone and welcome to Indianapolis. I am Larry McCarren. We're coming to you from the NFL Scouting Combine, where well over 300 prospects are trying to run, jump, and lift their way into the good graces of the NFL. GM Brian Gutekunst runs this show for the Green Bay Packers, and he took time off from his combine routine to talk with us. And one of the things we talked about was what you might call the identity of the upcoming draft. Brian, in a general sense, where is this combine/draft strong?
Wide receiver has been talked about a lot, and I do think it is a deep class. We're still kind of in the beginning phases of really evaluating, getting down to the nuts and bolts of what this class is. But the offensive lineman came through this morning. I thought that looked like a really good class this morning, seeing them live for the first time. There's Ted Thompson always used to say this, but when it's our turn to pick, there's always a good player somewhere. You just got to find him, and so that's our job. That's our task.
Now, the other day you rocked a few boats by saying a quarterback could be in play high in the draft. Now, in fact, is that any different than any other year, depending on the guy?
No, not at all. I mean, it's again, I've probably said this more times than not, but where I was raised in this business by Ron Wolf, Ted Thompson, this is a quarterback league, and it's such an important part of what we do that, and there's only so many guys on the planet that can do it. But if you have an opportunity to acquire one, you're going to consider it. And obviously, we have one of the best that's ever done it, and we hope he plays for a long, long time. But if good quarterbacks come around, whether it's round 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and so on, we're going to consider taking them.
Listening to you talk, not only this year, but pretty much every year about the draft and the combine, a phrase you say quite a bit is, you got to go back to the tape. Could you talk about that philosophy when it comes to evaluations?
Yeah, we always have believed that that's the most important thing. How you play the game, can you play? And the tape will tell you that. We do so many different things. There's, obviously these interviews that we're having here. There's the workouts and the medical, and there's a lot that goes into it, and they're all important. But when you have kind of discrepancies or things aren't consistent, we always want to go back to the tape because it's about how they play the game and can they be productive on the field and stuff. So again, all of it's important, but when we have inconsistencies, we've got to probably go back to the tape and make that decision that way.
When you have those individual meetings with players, what do you want to hear from that young guy in the room with you?
I think authenticity. We're really trying. These guys are, in today's day and age, they're coached up so well. They've been through so many mock interviews and things like that. It's really just to try to get to know them, their real selves, as much as we can, and to try to determine if they could be a fit in Green Bay. It's not easy in 15 to 18 minutes, but you do your best.
Brian, you guys did a lot of great things last year, but the way the season ended was not great in the NFC Championship game. How much does that one loss to San Francisco figure into your evaluations of this football team and what it needs?
It's part of it. I think you got to be careful of not putting too much emphasis on it. I think you can make mistakes that way. The challenges that we're going to face coming up, it could be completely different than what they were last year. So I think really it's about improving from within and continuing to kind of focus on our process and making it better. But we certainly evaluated that and how that game kind of ended up because it was very disappointing. But at the same time, I think if you focus too much on one game or one team, you're going to make mistakes.
As we speak, the new CBA is a work in progress, but just a couple of concepts. More games, more playoff teams. How does those concepts set with Brian Gutekunst?
Yeah, there's so much that is out of our control. We try not to focus on it too much. We are aware of it, and we are certainly, there's some contingency plans for how things may go. There's some exciting things that, just like you guys probably read in the papers, there may be more roster spots, things like that excite me. More football for me. I mean, as a football fan, I think that's really good for the organization and the fans, but really not concentrating on too much because it's something I'm out of my control.
Last thing for you, Brian. Now, when you and the other guys the scouts, the guys that do it for a living, when you guys get together somewhere to have some root beer or something like that, is there an all-time like combine performance that you guys, could you believe what that guy did? Doesn't have to be one of your own guys. Is there one of those performances that always stands out?
You're talking about players, right?
Yeah,
Not
yeah.
Scouts at the combine, right? Okay. No, I think the one, and somebody asked me this question earlier, but it was Byron Jones and his broad jump. I think, and there's been a lot of really good performances, overall performances, but to actually witness that and watch that on tape and run it back 15 times, trying to see if there's any kind of editing involved, because the amount of air that hang time he got in that jump, that was probably the one feat that kind of just took me away.
Brian, thank you for being with us. Have a great week.
Thanks, Larry. Appreciate it, man.
Baby, I'm the gamble of your life. Why you always gotta think twice? We could go at it all night till the morning till you can't even go no more. You like it, don't even deny it.